Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we are gonna do a full face of 2023 favorites in beauty. So basically I pulled a handful of the products, like some select things from my 2023 list, do a full face of that, and we're gonna talk about some of my favorite makeup techniques from 2023 as well that I discovered. And we're gonna talk a little bit about life and some of the cool things that happened in 2023 while we're at it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. It's gonna be a full face situation. We're starting barefaced. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get into the makeup and chit chat. All right. I'm gonna start with prepping the skin a little bit. I've already done my normal skincare because that wasn't like part of the favorites. But one of the things that was in my skincare favorites is the Lawless Forget the Filler Cream. We're gonna go with this today. This is the Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Perfecting Cream. And this basically is pretty comparable to the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base, which was also in my favorites. But we're gonna use this one today. And just pop some of this on. I've already done my brows and primed my eyes. Put a little lip balm on. Oh, this cream is just so nice. It's just like melts and becomes so water thin on the face and just soaks in and just magical. Magical cream. 10 out of 10. So that can be hanging out on the skin while we do everything else and soaking in, doing all the goodness that it needs to do. I do like to go ahead and do like my skincare before I do anything else and give that time to sink right on in. We're going to start with the eyes because we're going to play, and I like doing eyes first. I just do. I never like the way my makeup comes out if I don't do eyes first. So we're going to do a little palette duo combination here. We're going to jump into the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona as well as the Ghost Town from Nomad, because they were both in my favorites and I think they could play well together and create a look. And we're also going to be incorporating that lifted eye technique that I really like, that I did a video on a while back. I'm thinking we're going to lean into some cool tones here and something kind of fun, but we're also going to keep that lift to the outer corner and everything. We're going to start with a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into the shade called Valley from the Yucca palette because I want to start with a little bit of warmth. Even though we're going into cools, I want a hint of warmth in there. So we're going to take Valley right here and just pop that through the socket. I do like to mix warm and cool in my looks. And we're going to start like right here. And we're going to keep that little outer bit kind of bare. Not going to go fully all the way over. We're going to get that really nice lift. Start by just wiggling that right there and blending up and out and softening everything up. And just letting that diffuse kind of into nothing. Now I'm going to switch to a slightly smaller brush, a little more concentrated of a brush. A brush I have more control with, rather. And that is going to be an E25 from Sigma. And I'm just going to really make sure that is blended. And we're going to deepen this up a little bit. I'm going to go into the shade called Bandit Queen from the Nomad palette. It is this shade right here. A little bit more cool toned brown. We're going to take a little bit of that on this brush. And these palettes play really well together because the color stories aren't too terribly dissimilar. They can kind of weave in and out with one another really well. And the formulas are very, very similar. Like shockingly similar. All right, I'm going to pop that right here. A little bit more a concentrated placement. And just kind of pull up and out at a bit of an angle. Kind of making a wedge shape out here. One thing, this has been like the year of neutrals for me with eyeshadow. I've been so into just like brown. And yeah, I think I got maybe a little bit boring with my eyeshadow as far as like playing with color and all that goes. But I was really into trying out new techniques and stepping out of my comfort zone in subtle ways. Like new eyeshadow placements and new just ways of applying foundation and concealer and all of that. Like just more experimentation application wise. And when we get to this outer bit, we're going to soften it. We're not going to let it be like harsh and like a blank spot. It's just not going to be that most of the pigment is concentrated on that very outer part. It's going to be over just like a little teeny bit. A little bit inward. I think the experimentation with like Techiques has definitely been a product of just getting a little bit older. My face shape changed or is changing with age. Will be 37 next month. So there's that. And I have lost a little bit of weight this year. And I definitely think that played a role in a little bit of a change going on. And having to kind of adapt a bit to that and update some techniques. Which I think is totally normal. If, something just as you age and your face matures, things do change, and you kind of gotta adjust a little bit and compensate for some stuff. Like, yeah, my eyes aren't as lifted as they used to be. They're a lot more hooded than they used to be. Structure of my face has changed a little bit. So, yeah, I think it's fun, though. It's like almost a fun challenge. And I'm really, like, all into this, like, aging gracefully situation or thing where I like the idea of just kind of adjusting things and kind of going with the flow rather than fighting it so much. Lately, I have had this one patch right here that eyeshadow is refusing to stick to. What is up with that? Just like I was talking about, this patch is right here the other day in a video where there's just no pigment. Like I don't know. Is there pigment there? I can't tell. Is it just maybe the way the light hits them? Right here, they look paler than the rest of my face. But it's not like that every day. Like, what is that? I don't know if it's maybe just the structure of my face changing and I'm just seeing a different shape there. And I don't know. Something's throwing me off right there. Like, it almost looks like there's no pigment right here. Like, does that not look like... That's a white patch right here. And I have it on this side too. But it's like worse on one side than the other. Yeah, see? There's no color there. Like when I touch it, it gets red around it. But not right there. What is that? It's not a big deal. Okay, let's darken things up a little bit more. And I'm going to go to a smaller brush. I'm going to go to E27 from Sigma as well. This has been my two go-to brushes for the years. Well, also, I think I just forgot to mention that. We're going to go into Deadwood, which is the darkest brown in the Ghost Town palette. And I'm going to just tap that right there on that outer part, but again, not coming all the way over. And then just blending up into that wedge shape. Alright, I'm going to clean this brush off, and I'm going to jump back over to Yucca, and I'm going to grab Valley. I'm going to put a little bit right here. On this inner part. And let that come up. Another thing I've really been doing a lot with my makeup is really going beyond the crease and just completely ignoring the crease. With like shimmers, mattes, whatever. Like all of it. And just creating very glossy, kind of wet looking eyeshadow looks. Very, very glowy. And not worrying about like, oh, I can't put a shimmer there. No, I'm just doing what I want to do these days. And doing what I think looks pretty. And not worrying so much about like rules. Alright, I'm gonna grab my big brush one more time, go over everything just to make sure we're all nice and blended, and soften it out a bit, anything that might look harsh. Now I'm gonna stick to that E27. I'm gonna take some of the shade called Elysian, which is this silvery shade right here in the Yucca palette. Very pretty color. I want to put that on the center of the lid to start. And start to lay that down in a lighter application. Just to kind of get things figured out. I'm going to let it come up. Everything's going to go kind of in an angle like this. coming up to the arch of my brow. And we'll just build this up as we go. And let it just kind of graze over the other shades as well. I'm going to swap over to a flat brush because it'll just pick the shade up a little bit better. Get a little bit more opacity. There, you could just take your finger. There we go. And that's going to be kind of the main lid shade. I love this color. Like, it has a bit of like a green shift, kind of a gold shift in it, but it's still like a cool tone. Just gunmetal color. It's a very cool take on a silver, or a silvery tone, which you don't see very often. That's what I like about it. Because to be honest with you, silver is not really my favorite color, but this one is just unique. It is special. Alright, I'm just going to diffuse those edges up and out. Letting everything just marry together. And letting that shimmer come all the way up. Even when my eyes relax, you can still see it coming above the socket, or above the crease. And to just get some of that light sparkle up this way, you can take it on a bit more of a fluffy brush. But yeah, like the whole vibe this year has been like quiet luxury, very just a little more restrained, or I guess, or a little more chill with everything, and just softness. Like, I've been really into that. Just some kind of classic and elevated makeup is what has been my like main inspiration. But I still love doing like big eye looks. So I've just been making them a little more like neutral, a little more approachable, I think. I've almost been like a little bit more into like a simplicity in a way, but not at the same time. I'm not even sure how to describe it other than like just kind of, just a little bit like a slight understated vibe. Again, we'll go back to our big fluffy and just make sure everything is soft. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade called Rayolite from the Nomad palette. This one right here in the middle. And I'm going to put that on the very center of the lid to really brighten and bring a lot of light right there. Okay, and that just brightens that up and creates just this really nice kind of a multi-dimensional effect. And the sparkle in Rayolite's very multi-dimensional and just, it ties in really well. I'm going to go back to my little E27. There's no shimmer on it. And I'm going to take just a little bit more Deadwood, which is the darkest brown I've used. Just really make sure there's a nice dimension out here. Deep on that outer part. I'm going to grab a little bit more of Valley. And keep a little bit of that right there, just layered over top. So the shimmer does still come through. Just have that kind of like a hint of that color. E25, more Valley, just to make sure that is still visible. And everything is flowing nicely. And another blend. When in doubt, always blend. Just gonna tap a little more Rayolite right there on the very, very center. I think I'm mispronouncing. That's probably Rhyolite. I honestly don't know. Rhyolite. Okay. Sparkly. And I like it paired with those kind of weird browns with that yellow undertone. I think it looks really cool. And just pretty. I dig it. I always have loved like weird shades of neutrals. Especially these more yellowy undertoned ones. I just think they're very pretty. Now for a little bit of eyeliner, I'm just going to grab a black liner. I don't have a favorite eyeliner. And I'm going to just tuck it right here. On the outer portion of the lid. A little bit thicker. Right here, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a upward motion. And then I'm gonna take a little liner brush, an angled brush, and just soften that before it sets. Just a little subtle lift right out there. I've been less into like full-on eyeliner. I did really enjoy the Huda. I don't remember what it was called. Creamy Coal Liner. I loved it, but I tore through it so fast that it doesn't qualify as a favorite because it was just used up way too quickly. That's the only thing that's disqualifying it. Just a bad investment. If you ask me, it's a beautiful product, but it's gonna not last you very long. I would rather buy a drugstore eyeliner. Either last that longer or longer. As far as just the amount of product or whatever. I don't know if it had less product, but I rarely finish up an eyeliner. And I finished it up in like 4 months. I really enjoyed the formula of it. I think we can move on to our foundation now that we have got the bulk of the eyes done. I'm going to come back to lower lash line in a minute and all that. And we'll, finish that up. But let's move on to foundation. Or let's move on to the complexion. I have loved underpainting this year. Very light layer of product, just kind of subtle underpainting, if you will. Where it's a lot of different products, but they're applied very lightly and just very thin layers. And it just, to me, looks very natural and skin-like when it's all complete. And everything just looks perfected and like one. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is take some of the e.l.f. Halo Liquid Glow Filter. This was in my favorites, of course. And yeah, great product. I would think, to me, it's hard to tell the difference between it and Flawless Filter. And I just take this along the perimeter of the face, kind of where I want glow mostly. And this is a little bit deep on me, but it's okay. It actually gives my skin a little bit of color, so it's fine. And basically, I treat it as a primer, but it's going to add a nice under lip from within glow. I'm going to just blend that out with my foundation brush. I really like the way it looks on the skin, though. Whenever I use up my lightest shade of Flawless Filter, I'm going to pick up the Halo Glow probably in a lighter shade. This was like the only shade I could find when I was shopping because it kept being sold out. I just never bought the lighter one. And in the summer months, this was working for me pretty well because it had a little more color. And now for a little bit of contour action. The Milani Liquid Contour from their Conceal and Perfect line in the shade Honey. It's pretty dang good. I love it. I really like the formula of this. The shade could be a little bit cooler. I think e.l.f. actually has a cooler version of this. But whatever. It works, and it gives me some nice warmth to my face. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit up and tap it into the hollows and along the jawline, nose, and the whole kind of point of this layering technique too is that it gives me a very creamy finish. That is something I've really been going for a lot with my makeup, is stuff that has just a very creamy skin-like finish that doesn't look heavy, but it doesn't look overly matte or overly glowy. It's just kind of somewhere in the middle that I could only describe as creamy. That's just been my ideal finish, and all these products together really do help create that look. All right, I'm just going to buff this out. Just a little bit of a tappy motion to begin, then we can just slowly kind of blend it out. I actually like using this kind of angled fluffy brush for this. It just gives a very soft, easy blend. And now we'll do a little bit of cream blush. Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Powder Balm Blush. I might have that in the wrong order. In the shade Golden Hour. Such a lovely formula. It's a beautiful product. So we're going to use this as our blush today. And I'm just going to take that on a big old brush. Tap a little bit in here. These are very pigmented. A little bit's all you need. Apply that where I like to apply my blush. I do like a higher placement with my blush and contour and all that. I think it suits my face shape. But yeah, I've been really into like layering creams and powders, and where it's like you're using minimal product, but it all just kind of comes together. And I go a little bit in on the blush because we are going to be putting product over top, so you don't have to be quite so careful. That's another perk of like this type of underpainting, is that it gives you so much grace. If you mess up, apply too much contour or whatever, you can always fix it because you're going in with the concealer and then the foundation. You've got so many opportunities to repair things before. So it's not like, oh no, I messed up my whole face with the contour. Now you just blend it out and apply some foundation over it. It'll be fine. It gives you so much more leeway. Okay, so that's the blush applied. All right, now for the concealer, I chose to go with the IRL Filter Finish Concealer because I think this is just a really great concealer. I loved it throughout the whole of 2023. My other favorite concealer was the Butter Glow from Physicians Formula, a beautiful product for the year. But this one I just thought would be a nice one to pick for today. Definitely leans into that more creamy skin look. It's supposedly a matte finish, but it's not a powdery chalky matte. It's a very refined, nice matte finish. Great for if you're oilier skin type and don't want things to look chalky, heavy, dry at the same time. Because sometimes matte products to me can look a little too matte and my skin does lean a little oily. And I don't like things to look powdery matte. I like that creamy kind of glow. I want my skin to look hydrated and moisturized, but I don't like that velvety, super matte look. Okay, so this you can definitely powder and get to a very, very matte place if you wanted to, but honestly, you can make this have the most beautiful kind of creamier look to the skin. It's a versatile product, and the coverage level is very adjustable. So I just take a little bit here. I also like the unique little doe foot it has. It's kind of weird and cool. Come right out here. A little bit here. Anywhere like I want to pull forward and brighten, that's where we're going to apply this. I'm going to blend this out with a little e.l.f. dual complexion brush. This brush, I forgot to mention my favorites. Freaking love this little brush. It's got the big brush on one side, a little brush on the other. Ugh, it's so good. So versatile. I'm not a big fan of double-ended brushes, but this one, worth it. Awesome brush. And it's e.l.f. and you can get it like anywhere and it's pretty affordable. It's like $5 maybe. I don't know. Alright, so get around the nostril area here. And I start with the little side. Just kind of move the product around. Get it where I want it. Down the nose. Alright, then I'm going to take the larger side and just really buff it all in. And just tapping motions. And it just lets it all flow together. And everything just starts to look blended and starts really coming together. It's just a really subtle underpainting technique, I guess you could say. It's not like Scott Barnes underpainting. To me, he goes in a little bit lighter here with those techniques. It's more like an everyday kind of application. All right, now foundation. It's going to be the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour skin tint. I know people either love or hate this one. I'm in the love it camp. So we're going to go with this, give it a good little shake. Foundation over top, and everything is just going to blur together and look great. Trust me. Just trust me. Now this foundation has a radiant-ish finish. It has a little bit of micro shimmer in it, but it dries down to a bit more of like a matte feel on the skin. I think this is a good one if you really like skin tints but struggle to find one that works on oilier skin types. This would be the one. It's very, very long wearing. It claims a 24-hour wear, but it definitely does wear a long time. It holds up at the gym really, really well. And it does have vitamin C in it. That's really not enough vitamin C or the right type to do a whole lot for your skin. But it's in there. more so, I've just really enjoyed the finish of this foundation. I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to take a little bit on my dual complexion brush. And I kind of work it into the brush. And then I start at the center of the face and kind of work out. And speaking of working out, that has been the biggest change that I made in 2023 is I have decided to become a muscle mommy, as the youth say. And yeah, basically feel like it gave me my life back. I was dealing with a lot of physical pain, a lot of back problems. I have scoliosis, I have multiple joint deformities, and all kind of congenital issues with my body. So, yeah, it got pretty bad to where I was using mobility aids, like leaving the house, not wanting to do anything bad, like just, it hurt to move, it hurt to walk. Walking was nearly impossible for a little bit there. So I'd started physical therapy about a year and a half ago. And from there on, I ended up joining the gym right by my house. Got really, really into the education side of strength training and injury prevention. And yeah, it has turned into something totally new for me, and it has become a huge, huge part of my life, and basically become my big goal right now is actually like building muscle and being strong and changing my body completely. The biggest perks though has been obviously the physical side. Like, yeah, I have muscles now. You can see my muscles. It's pretty cool. I've lost 30 pounds in body fat because I did also adjust my diet and just actually tried. So yeah, I lost down 30 pounds in body fat, but have gained a crap ton of muscle. It's hard to keep track of like weight loss when you're gaining muscle, because I am actually doing like mesocycles of muscle building and very structured, organized, tracking everything, doing progressive overload, building, and constantly like kind of trying to outdo myself every gym session. And it's literally changed my life. Honestly, every aspect of my life has been dramatically improved. And yeah, the physical changes are cool. Like, seeing it, that's really cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, I don't care about that. Of course I care about that. I'm human. And it's awesome to see your body change and look different and look better. In my opinion, it does. And yeah, so that's, obviously a perk of it. Weight loss, cool. Yeah. My favorite thing is that I don't hurt like I did before. I'm not in chronic pain anymore. I can walk. I can do things. I can live life again. I can leave the house, go get groceries, and it not feel like a burden. To not be in terrible pain just to run into the store. Like, to not have to immediately run for a buggy or have to drag a cane with me or something. Worry about where am I going to sit? How am I going to do this by myself? I can do it. It's completely changed all of that to where I can do everything that I want to do in life again. And I haven't been in this good of physical shape in my life, ever. I've been in okay shape previously, and I'm not new to working out or physical activity. I've done other things. I've done roller derby. I've done strength training in the past, but never to this extent to where I've really seen and felt a major change in my body and pain levels. I feel like I'm free again. Like I was feeling very trapped in my own body, very claustrophobic. Just had kind of given up. And my doctor sent me to the physical therapist, and that just kind of started it, where I was like, oh, I can feel better? because I didn't think it was possible. I thought, oh, this is it. This is what the doctor said was going to happen to me when I was a kid. The doctors said, hey, you're probably going to end up with very limited mobility by the time you're in your 30s. And I kind of just accepted that and thought, well, that's what life's going to be for me in my future. No, I have, honestly, I feel better now than I did in my 20s. Hands down, physically, I feel better than I have in probably my peak health of my 20s. And it's just because I've been doing strength training. I've been lifting weights. That's it. That's what I've been doing. Lifting heavy circles. And yeah, it's been incredible. Like I'm still amazed by my own strength, by my own body, doing things that I never thought I could do. Like I never in a million years thought I could deadlift because of my back. No, I deadlift all the time. And it's fun. I love it. I love back workouts. I love doing anything to build back. That's my favorite because my back was always such a weak part of my body. And now it's one of my strongest parts of my body. It's incredible. It's like, what? I honestly can't believe it's real. Like, wow. So yeah, that was just the absolute one of my biggest highlights of 2023. And what really got us into it, me and my husband both are doing this, mind you. He has seen incredible progress. Like, he looks like a bodybuilder. And yeah, his arms are insane. Anyway, but what got us really into it was that he turned 40 this year. And he was like, you know what? Something's got to change. I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I don't want my 40s to be like this. Because he was starting to have body pain issues. He was having body pain issues and just not feeling good. And, just how it feels when you're not taking care of yourself as well as you should. You start having little health issues, this and that, like higher cholesterol, blood sugar, all these things that play in. Like your blood work doesn't look as good as it used to. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, all these things, right? So he's like, something's got to change. We're going to do something about this. So we joined the gym. And, within a month, the improvement I felt within my body and my mind was amazing. Aside from the physical feeling better and being able to move and have my mobility back and all that, the mental aspect of it, the mental health side of it, has been a reward of its own. I've never felt so good mentally as I do this past year, or as I have this past year. I don't have near the anxiety I used to have. I wake up and I feel good. I feel confident. I don't wake up feeling dreading anything. I wake up excited for the day. Like, I actually feel happy. Just on the regular, I have a contentment in my mind that I didn't have before, and a confidence that I didn't have before, where I'm just unapologetically myself now. More so than ever, and I really attribute to that. And it was a change I noticed very quickly within myself, within my thinking and my outlook on life. It was a very quick change I saw, and that was what I was doing different, was working out. And I just had a doctor's appointment last week. Just a yearly checkup, check your blood work and all that. And my numbers were great. My thyroid numbers were the best they've ever been. And just all these things, I'm just like, wow. And I feel like I'm beating the odds a little bit because I do have hypothyroidism, which can make mental health, weight loss, all sorts of things very hard and not great in life. And that also kind of made me give up a little bit because I'm like, oh, well, how am I going to fix this? And I do take thyroid medication, but I had been on it for a while and wasn't really seeing that much change in my body, aside from feeling a little bit better. And my hair got thicker, my skin was a little better, right? And I quit having hives. As far as weight loss, all that. None of that was happening with the thyroid medicine. And I can tell you now that I have been on the same dose. They haven't had to adjust it in months now, and my numbers are the best they've ever been. I don't know if that has something to do with the working out or not, but it's the only real change I've made. And there's got to be something to it. Because I've been dealing with the hypothyroidism. Well, I was diagnosed like 2 years ago with that. So it's not like that's a new development. And I always felt like, you know, it makes your metabolism crappy. It makes it really hard to lose weight. I also have PCOS. Like, I have all the things working against me physically. It was just like this something in my head's like, you know, no, I'm not accepting this. I'm going to change it. And I'm going to do what I think is best for me. Obviously still following doctor's advice and stuff like that. But aside from that, I'm going to try to make a change for myself and become a better person all around. I have become very much into bettering myself physically, mentally, everything this year. And it all really does start back with lifting heavy circles, lifting weights at the gym. That really is the culprit. Okay, now we got the foundation on and we have that beautiful creamy finish that I was talking about. Everything is merged together and blended now. What I'm going to do is take whatever is left on my blush brush and just kind of reinforce that blush a little bit. I do like a blushy cheek. But yeah, I just love the finish of that foundation. It is just stunning. Like there's a blurring effect to it in like a filtered look. Basically bodybuilding is what I'm doing now. Like I'm fully doing like a bodybuilding program because I found that to be the most conducive to my lifestyle and what I do. Now, as far as like diet, I'm not doing bodybuilding diet, but I'm doing the workout style of bodybuilding, which is called hypertrophy training, which is focused on growing muscle and of course getting stronger as well. But the reason that I do that one is because it is the most gentle on the body. It is slow movements. You're not lifting insanely heavy. You're progressively going up in weight, but you're doing things with these full ranges of motion. They're just almost impossible if you're doing heavy weight. Like it's more about technique than anything. And you know, there's no ego lifting involved. It's a different type of lifting. And it's helped my mobility so much as far as just like range of motion throughout my body and just being able to go about life. That honestly has been one of the silliest, kind of maybe trivial sounding things to I think most people who are able-bodied is being able to go get groceries. Getting groceries was a bit hard or not a bit hard. It was really hard for me. Like trying to pick up a case of Cokes was damn near impossible some days. I'm just making sure that there's no creasing under my eyes. You know, carrying the groceries in and out of the store it was always buggy. Getting a buggy before I even went into the store so I'd have something to hold on to and lean on kind of thing. And now I carry the groceries. I don't even get a buggy anymore. But just be able to pick stuff up off the shelf and not have to worry about throwing my back out. And just be able to pick them up, put them in the buggy, for in the store, and then get all the groceries, carry them in my hands to the car, not having to park super close to the store, not having to worry about any of this stuff, and just be able to live. I almost want to cry because of how what a big impact it's made on my life. And yeah, honestly, that is pretty much due to my husband, though. His kickstarting that, because he's the one that said, hey, let's join the gym. Really, this is more him, his influence there. It's become such a passion for me. It's something that I truly love doing and enjoy, and I do like to share it with you guys when I do a little bit. I do share a little bit in the vlogs and stuff. I know not everybody's into fitness content, so I don't overload it with that because I am a beauty channel, if you will. But I do like to include that lifestyle stuff in there. All right, powder. Let's set these under eyes and get everything set down. Powder this year has been 2 powders that I've loved. 2 pieces. The Makeup Revolution IRL powder. This is really cool because you got pressed powder on top, loose powder at the bottom, and the Halo Glow setting powder from e.l.f. I think this was in last year's favorites as well. So I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution one for setting the under eyes, and then we'll do this one on the rest of the face. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Makeup Revolution one. And another thing that I've incorporated is using a very small brush to set my under eyes. Like a little eyeshadow brush that's kind of fluffy. Because I can get right on under there into them creases and make sure they are not creasing anymore. And this powder just makes everything look so smooth. And talk about amazing longevity. This is one of those powders that really does increase longevity. It doesn't look powdery on the skin. It's very finely milled HD type of powder. You can't see it. It just disappears. Very mattifying. So if you don't want super duper matte, this might not be the one for you, but I like it because I can adjust that by going in with a setting spray and bring back that creamy finish. But I really like this one for around the eye area and the pores. It does beautifully in here. I mean, the e.l.f. one does great too for all these areas also. Just to kind of double up, we'll do both. I can't emphasize enough how many benefits have come from just going to the gym and working out. Getting that physical activity. Mental, health-wise, physically, just all around. It has been such a positive change. And it's become such a, more of a priority than anything else. I can't even describe really, honestly, how much better everything is. Just the day-to-day life being just feeling good every day. I see the change in my husband. He's happier. I can tell he feels good. It feels good about himself and is so confident and just, yeah, it's fantastic. And he looks amazing. The turkey. Anyway, now we'll do some of the Halo Glow on the rest of the face. I'm just going to take that on the rest of my face with a big brush. And what I like about this is it takes down that tackiness. It gives a soft focus finish without looking heavy at all. It would be hard to make this look cakey on the face. Both these powders. They're foolproof powders. But it takes down that excess shine you might have, but gives this filtered hourglass ambient lighting powder look to the skin. And just creates such a flawless look. Truly just creamy looking, fresh looking skin. It doesn't look covered in makeup. It doesn't look mask-like or heavy. I'm going to add a little more blush. I feel like I want a little more blush in here. I like my blush. I like it. So I'm just going to take a tiny, tiny peep. And what's great about these, they can go over a set face. No problem. So I'll bring a little bit more in there. I'm really into blush. Clearly. And then what I like to do is reinforce everything with powders over top, like a nice light kind of bronzer and a little bit of highlight. Sometimes I do a powder blush, sometimes I just go back in with the cream. And just layering things up, it creates such a long-lasting complexion that is just not going to go anywhere all day on you. It's going to look nice, wear gracefully throughout the day. So I'm just going to grab my Film Star Bronze and Glow from Charlotte just to do a little bit of reinforcing of the contour and bronze area. Another super awesome thing about this past year is making a new friend. I think it is rare for adults to make new friends beyond acquaintances. But to make friends with somebody who you talk to on a daily basis that it almost starts to feel like family, right off the bat. That happened to me this year. And it has been so awesome. We have the deepest conversations and talk about these really abstract subjects and these details, and we can work through these ideas together, and it's so refreshing and cool because it's, I don't know, there's stuff that you don't really talk about with a whole lot of people, I think. She definitely has helped my perspective on things a lot and kind of grounded me a little bit, which is really definitely something you need. We have our little therapy sessions basically together where we talk about stuff and just working through and talking about things. Man, there's nothing like it. Just really, and having somebody to talk back to and they can give you advice. And not just be confirmation bias type of thing, and actually push back and say, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, you know? And our conversations have really got me thinking about more than what I normally would, a little bit deeper than just surface level. And that has been incredibly rewarding. And then it's just fun because we talk about makeup and our families and just little things like that friends talk about. But it's been really fun having these deeper chats about stuff because they're not things that I maybe even would consider at all. Yeah, they're usually very timely, which is what's weird too. You tell we're like in the same like kind of wavelength almost, because she'll mention something, then I'm like, hey, I've been thinking about something similar. And or like a conversation with my husband or whatever, and it will play into it. It's so strange. It's like was weird little cosmic things. So definitely that was a fantastic part of 2023. And met her thanks to YouTube. We met just on here, and turns out she lives like 40 minutes from me. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. And we just hit it off immediately. Exchanged numbers. Met up for lunch. Just buddies. And we talk every day. And yeah, it's been just really nice to have someone just to talk to about random things. And none of my friends really, in real life, you know, they don't really have like a huge makeup interest or anything like that. So it's nice to have somebody I can talk to about makeup who knows what I'm talking about. So that's been really fun. It's been such a rewarding friendship all around to me. And that was a fantastic aspect of 2023. There's no like judgment in the conversations either. Like I can throw something out there that I know is a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit weird. No judgment. It's just, okay. And we talk through it. It's cool. Like it's one of those things where you can say, okay, here's a weird thought. What do you think of this? Like it's just really interesting. And it's fun to get somebody else's opinion on it who does think differently than me and can look at stuff in a whole different way, coming at it from more maybe a maternal aspect and a more loving way. And I think that's helped me kind of emotionally mature a bit and be a little bit more kind as far as like sympathetic maybe. That I definitely was lacking a little bit of that. I know myself. I can be a bit of a grumpy Gus and a little bit pessimistic, and having someone to talk to that can, I don't know, take something and maybe she can make it a little more, she comes at it from such a loving angle. There's such a kindness in there that's definitely helped me kind of soften me up a bit. I'm taking just a little bit of highlighter from this palette. I don't have a favorite highlighter of the year unless you count that e.l.f. Halo Glow. And I'm just going to hit a little bit right here on the high points. I've also kind of gotten a little bit lighter on the highlight maybe this year. A little bit more into a wet, softer glow. Not so much the metallic, glowing for the gods look that I used to love. I think my makeup has matured. Am I growing up finally? Is that what's happening? Am I growing up? I think this 2023 was definitely a lot of spiritual growth, though, on my part. Just all around. And physical growth and just changing. And I feel like I'm in a cocoon. I'm in my cocoon phase. And I'm blossoming into a new person. I know that sounds so silly, but it's how I feel, okay? Taking a little bit of this bronzer. Not a favorite, or not in this year's favorites, rather, but this is the Melt Queen Bee bronzer. Or it's not bronzer, it's a digital dust blush. But I use it as a bronzer, because I just want to bring a little more warm in, because I like it. On the lower lash line, what I'm gonna do is actually keep it pretty bare. I've been kind of into a less smoky lower lash line. I think it's because I've just had watery eyes for one thing, and I get tired of combating that. But I think a softer lower lash line just helps pull the eyes up a bit more, gives a little bit more lift. Where when I go in on my lower lash line, it can pull them down a bit, and because my lower lash line is a little more rounded, it can get that little bit more of a doe-eyed look, which is fine. I like that look too, but I'm really into the lifted eye situation. I'm just gonna take a little pencil brush and I'm gonna grab a bit of Elysian. Come along under here. I do like a little definition under the eye though. I just don't like to, I don't know, I'm not wanting to blend it out super low down. I'm just taking a little bit of the Elysian shade, add some sparkle right along. And then we'll take a little bit of Raylight, same little pencil brush. Okay, hit the middle. Just mimic what we did on the upper lash line there. And keep that very, very soft. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Valley and keep that pretty close to the lashes under here. Just enough to add a little bit of something. Make sure everything is looking how I want it to. Very blended and soft. I might take just a touch more of Bandit Queen. I'm just going to run it right there. Take just a touch more of Valley. Just right here. And just making sure everything is still visible and get that nice swoop happening. I'm going to take a little bit of Deadwood on my liner brush. Tap right here. Not quite an eyeliner, but just a little bit of a smokiness just there. I always like to come back and adjust things at the end just to see what I want to tweak and change. It's not linear the way I do my makeup. Okay, and now mascara. And for mascara, I have to say the Benefit Fan Fest and the Maybelline Falsies Surreal have been kind of the end-all be-all for me. I just finished up Falsies Surreal and it is in my empties. So we're doing Fan Fest from Benefit. I know I complain about high-end mascara and expensive, but that one it's really nice. It is actually a beautiful product. Before we go in with the mascara, I think I'm going to pop on a couple of the Impress lashes on the outer corner since I did mention those are my favorites and I feel like I should use them. So I'm going to curl the lashes first just for ease of application. It does make it easier to me to put them on once my lashes have been curled. I'm going to grab the voluminous ones and we're going to take from the little medium row. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between the medium and long row. They look the same to me. I just now saw that they were actually marked. Yeah, maybe a slight difference in length. Okay. Yeah, I honestly did not know the difference. I never noticed. They all looked the same to me. But anyways, these are the self-sticking Impress lashes. Like they have the glue built in and you just pop them on underneath your lash line and squeeze them and they stay. They are pretty dang cool. Very, very innovative product and I think they're fantastic. So I'm going to take some of the mediums, a couple of them, the clusters, and put them on the outer corner. And you just pull them off the little thing here like so, and the glue is on the back side of the lash. The glue is on the little rib of the lash right there and you just stick it underneath your lash line. And they do come with these little neat tweezers. It's awesome. I need a mirror. I can't see what I'm doing without a mirror. This is something that can be quite fiddly at first. I think your first few times using it, or a couple of times using it, but once you get the hang of it, it's so easy and just such an innovative, cool product. So you just lay them on right there. And then, whoop, I did that wrong. Again, yeah, it's fiddly. Just pop them right under there. And give them a little squeeze. I like to just use my fingers to squeeze them on. But it's just, I like the natural ones because they're very subtle. And just give a little lift to the outer corner. 1 or 2. Just like that. Just a very soft little something right out there. It kind of makes it look like you got some nice lash extensions. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the way lash extensions look. I think they look weird. Okay. Yeah, just pop it on and squeeze. And that little puppy is there for the day. Maybe we'll do one more cluster just for funsies. And pop that next to that first one. Ta-da! This has got to be one of the best products, period, to come out of 2023. There we go. Look at that. Just 2 little clusters. They look awesome. And they're very easy to remove. They don't pull your lashes out or anything like that. You don't have to worry about hiding a lash band because they're underneath. Just such a neat little product. Absolutely. And easy. Very, very easy. All right. And then we get to take a little mascara over that. And everything will look blended in together. Kiss and Press lashes. Fantastic. I also really like their mascara system. But these take the cake. Now I'll let that dry and then I'm going to tight line my upper lash line just because I don't like to see any skin. But for brows, the e.l.f. Brow Lift has been kind of just a game-changing little brow product here. I didn't think it could be so good. And yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. It is the weirdest, like, gel pomade situation, wax situation, but man, it does something good for the brows. So take a little bit of that on a spoolie and just run that through. It just makes my brows look nice. Holds them in place. Again, gym proof. The gym has become my test ground for makeup. If it holds up me on gym day, it's good because I'm not messing around when I'm in the gym. Here's something also that happened yesterday. The trainer and the owner of the gym told me he was proud of me and my husband. So, yeah. He's like, I'm so proud of y'all's progress. And that's a good feeling because he's a wonderful dude and incredible shape. And it's like one of the people that you when they tell you they're proud of you from a trainer who does bodybuilding himself and all that. It's incredible shape. That's a good feeling. For lips, I mentioned a L'Oreal lipstick that I was in love. I'll put a picture here because I don't think it's in my purse. Absolutely loved it throughout the year. But a lip combo that I just kept going back to that I think will tie in really nicely with this look. It's a combo of ABH's Cool Brown, which is not very cool. I don't know why they call it Cool Brown. It's a warm chocolatey brown with the Milani Lip Color Fetish lipstick and tease. These two were just go-tos on the lips throughout the year. And I think they give that pretty 90s kind of nudie lip in the best way. So ABH lip liner, create kind of a contoured shape with it. I like the very ombre looking lip. And then smudge. And then taking a bit of Milani tease in the center. And kind of blending it in and with the lip liner for this very like ombre kind of dramatic lip, but I like it. This is the way I do a nude lip. Sometimes less or more with the lip liner, but I think this looks good for today. And it just gives that very 90s kind of lip that I'm obsessed with. We'll top it with a little bit of gloss, and the gloss I've been reaching for years, a couple of years now, is the Lip Plumping Gloss in Mocha Twist. This wasn't necessarily in the favorites because it's been something I've mentioned I don't know how many times, but it's just a favorite lip gloss. So I didn't really have one that was particular to this year. Or last year, rather. To 2023. I don't know when I'm posting this, so if I'm mixing up my present and past tense, that's why. And I just like putting a little of this on the center. A very full, voluminous lip. Okay, and this is the look all complete, using a full face of my 2023 favorites. Close-up, creamy skin, underpainting, lifted eye, the whole thing. Everything that I love. Everything that I've loved doing and products I've loved using in 2023. So, let me know down below any big moments you had in 2023. Things you're just thankful for that may have happened in 2023. Good things. Products that you loved. All of it. Let me know down below. This is basically like the ultimate only things I love type of video of the year. So yeah, let me know all that down below and let's have a lovely little conversation about it in the comment section. I do love talking to you guys. And everything I use today will be listed and linked below. They are affiliate links, but like PBS, I am sponsored by viewers like you. So yeah, if you do want to shop the affiliate links, thank you in advance. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. I hope you have a wonderful 2024. Happy New Year. And let's hope it is a good one, because boy do we need it. On a grand scale beyond my personal little bubble, the world at large could use some love and kindness, and let's hope and pray for peaceful outcomes to everything and love to everyone and just all the good energy and vibes, because the world at large, I think, does need that right now. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.